Hey everybody, welcome back, and we have some new information about Black Girl Gamers and their response to gothix TV. And if you haven't been paying too much attention to all this, Black Girl Gamers obviously is the DEI consultation firm plus Facebook group for black women gamers that has gotten into some hot water for their involvement with games like Forspoken, for their backing of Sweet Baby Inc. when all this Gamergate 2 drama started. And after gothix TV, who was a former member of Black Girl Gamers, called them out, they released this 33 tweet thread about how she's full of it, they have receipts, they have proof, she's just a liar, and the thread proved nothing. There was literally nothing in there that changed any of the facts surrounding her story. So, of course, gothix has responded and called them the Jussie Smollett of gaming, because now, of course, you see Black Girl Gamers a few days ago had released some stuff about how they're getting threats and there are all these, concerns of harassment, even though they can't really show receipts of that. So yeah, the Jussie Smollett thing comes after, I believe it was Khalif Adams labeled her labeled gothix the Candace Owens of gaming. So the Jussie Smollett thing is really nice. I think it's a really apt description of the way that Black Girl Gamers has been acting recently. Well, now we have yesterday, on April 13th, Black Girl Gamers tweeting out again. And this Twitter thread isn't quite as long, but it is still just as idiotic once you start going through it. So this is in response to their 33 tweet thread that they put out, I think it was a couple weeks ago. And it says, "It's come to our attention that we need to clarify a few things further. The person mentioned in the omitted part of gothix message," and this is important because gothix had shared some screenshots from conversations, some DMs, where Black Girl Gamers had just flat out left parts of conversations out that provided context, and then gothix provided the context but redacted some of the names, and so you have them saying here that that person has never been a Black Girl Gamer member. As we've said before, just because someone is black and femme, and this is also really funny because they don't discriminate against trans individuals or anybody who presents as female. So you can present as female. I wonder if you could also present as black and get to be part of their group. I don't know. Somebody should try it. But they say just because they presented as black and femme doesn't make them a Black Girl Gamer member. So the assertion that this person is a member is categorically false. Additionally, sharing that part of the message would have alluded to details about attempted fatal self-harm, which is personal information and triggering for most. It is not our place to share that publicly. No idea what they're talking about there. So that's them claiming we couldn't put out this full message because that person might have tried to hurt themselves at one point and we can't share that. Okay, if it's true, that's fair. If it's not true, it just seems like another skeezy, slimy way for them to try to avoid accountability for the way that they've acted. Gothix was blocked by Black Girl Gamers in 2020 after consistently generating negative chatter about Black Girl Gamers. And of course, they can't have negative chatter because that would just make them look bad. In addition to Twitter, she had the option to report via IG or email. Where there's a will, there's a way. And this is a little disingenuous because she had reported harassment in the past to these groups of people, and they didn't do anything about it. Contrary to the narrative being spun, although we didn't agree with gothix's stance on the Little Mermaid, and you can see this right here in her Twitter bio, in the little header here. I'm the Little Mermaid now. This is what really triggered all the people in her group. We didn't initially remove her as a Black Girl Gamer member because she is entitled to her own opinion, and this controversy has nothing to do with us. However, we ultimately removed her from the Twitch community because what started as a healthy debate turned into drama instigation while streaming under our Twitch community. Just as other platforms have the right to remove affiliates fueling controversy, we have the same right. Now, the interesting thing about this is that Twitch community thing they're talking about is essentially she was streaming on Twitch and it was associated with Black Girl Gamers. And she wasn't on their main page, she wasn't streaming for their account, but it was another way of saying, hey, I'm part of this community, come support me. And despite the fact that she had proof that people had come from both the Cookout group and Black Girl Gamers to harass her, they removed her from the Twitch community simply because they didn't want to deal with the headache, not because she herself actually did anything wrong. They said, again, drama instigation, but all she did was say, why are black people celebrating Ariel turning black? It's a very interesting way of looking at it. Then they go on to say gothix deleted much of her content from this period, but a tweet from the night before her Twitch team removal shows the combative energy she was fostering during her streams. Well, she was being harassed. It doesn't surprise me she was combative. while it's fine for her own platform, it goes against our guidelines. All right, where's your guidelines? Let's see it. Come on. No, they don't link to that. So here, they use this tweet here as an example of her like breaking their guidelines. And this is from when she was going to TwitchCon back in 2019. She said, after seeing all the love I received this weekend, I have one thing to say. If you contributed to that hate mob towards me a few months ago and you're attending TwitchCon, come say hi before I leave so I can personally tell you to go F yourselves. See, I think that's a fair way to look at it. I think that's a fair opinion to have. If people dogpiled her online and caused her to get harassed and removed from something like a Twitch community and eventually from a group itself that she had been affiliated with, I don't see a problem with her tweeting that. Like, how is that worse than being harassed? Then they go on to say gothix public opinions on topics like blackface prior to her original Little Mermaid tweet altered how people viewed and reacted to her. Rather than assigning blame, gothix needs to take ownership of the fact that her public statements have harmed those who have supported her. Ironically, on this Twitter thread here, it looks like the two people that it's harmed are a couple white women. I don't know how that how that has any bearing on her association with the Black Girl Gamers group when the only people complaining are a couple white women. Really weird. Deleting the tweets doesn't diminish the harm or its consequences. Personal accountability is needed. So I'm really curious what they expect, like as far as accountability from gothix. It's really an interesting situation here. Let's see what they say. When our reps watched her documentary, which didn't even talk about Black Girl Gamers, we became aware of the individuals in question. Only one member crossed the line into hate speech via her personal platform and has since been suspended. Again, no receipts to that. The rest of the individuals expressed healthy criticism on their platforms or had no Black Girl Gamers affiliation. This is like them saying, we investigated ourselves and we found ourselves innocent. It says here, we actively mod our Facebook, Discord, and public Patreon, but Black Girl Gamers is not a governing body. We're not responsible for anyone's actions outside of BGG. When issues arise outside the community that affect our community, we address them when we were provided with adequate info to investigate. And then, of course, they could leave it off saying you have no ill will towards Black Girl Gamers in creating a documentary about your alleged harassment just to turn around and call us the Jussie Smollett of gaming while engaging in the very behavior you condemned is the epitome of hypocrisy and the definition of ill will. It's a lot of words to say very little. Ironically, though, at the end of this Twitter thread, and Packer Girl managed to bring it to my attention here, I saw in this thread that she put together, this guy, Marco Corrosion, or Holliner on Twitter, responded to the Twitter thread. Let me see if I can find the response here. And he's like, I don't care, sue me. And he shared the link to that Park Place article that got this whole thing kicked off where they were threatening to sue that Park Place. And then Black Girl Gamers responded to this guy, Marco, and said, if you've been paying attention from the jump instead of recently grifting for clout, you'd have noticed posts seeking freelancers for ad hoc projects and invites for any all to join our public Patreon, which replaced our also public Discord. And yes, I checked, and their Discord has actually been nuked from their Twitch account, so you can't even find their public Discord anymore. And then they went on to say, some of you need to educate yourselves on the distinction between an employee and a freelancer and understand when an org is required to issue equal opportunity employment statements. Well, if you go to their website, their employee list is now gone, and it was all black women. So it is very curious that they're over here claiming that they didn't discriminate when the only thing you can actually see is actual hiring discrimination. So yeah, very, very weird, very interesting. And now, of course, they've locked the replies, so you can't even reply to this Twitter thread. And, of course, they deleted this tweet, so this tweet is now gone. So yeah, really interesting. I was thinking that they were going to quiet down for a while, that they were just going to kind of disappear, lick their wounds, and just kind of shut up. But apparently they can't help themselves, so pretty interesting stuff. Alright, let me know what you guys think about all this down below. Do you think Black Girl Gamers is going to issue a new statement in a couple weeks? Do you think there's going to be any new controversy involving them? Let me know down below, and I will talk to you guys later. Alright, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have two channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.